So in this video, I'm going to share with you how I helped a real estate wholesaler close a $10,000 assignment fee using Facebook ads and AI. And here you can see this is a screenshot from my client saying that he got the property for $10,000, sold it for $20,000, and it closed in 3 weeks. It was also a mobile home. So in this video, what I'm going to do is share with you how our system works. I'm going to share with you the math behind our system. So if you are a real estate wholesaler and you want to do this yourself or use our software to do this, you can have the accurate expectation on the math and how it actually works. I'm also going to share with you an example of the ads that we would run for a client like this so that you understand the way that we are attracting these motivated sellers. And I'm going to share with you the conversation between the actual homeowner and our AI booking bot system, who did about 95% of the legwork when it comes to qualifying the lead. So you'll see that there. I'm also going to share with you the data of the advertising spend, the cost per lead, all that good stuff. And then I'm going to show you the 2 ways we're using AI, which is the AI note taker and the AI lead quality system. And both of these I custom built specifically for motivated sellers. So I want to show you how we're actually using it. And then also, if you would like, how you can get started with this type of system. So let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to share with you is just how this actually works. So step 1 to this process is we run proven Facebook ads. So I have personally been running Facebook ads for 8 years now, and I have managed close to $2 million in advertising spend. And so I know what ads work to find motivated sellers, turn them into leads, and ultimately off-market deals. And so we start with a proven Facebook ad. I don't try to, start a brand new campaign with a brand new ad and test everything from scratch. I simply start with one of our proven ads, and then we drive traffic. So when we show these ads to a motivated homeowner who needs to sell their property, we take them to a survey page, and that survey page will collect their address, their name, their email, and their phone number. And then if they submit their information there, it will take them to a calendar page where they can book in an actual appointment. And after they book in their appointment, it will just take them to a simple success or thank you page. Now, if these leads fill out the survey, but they don't decide to actually book an appointment on the funnel, we have AI follow-up that will engage the lead, and I'll show you how that works. But it will engage the lead over text message. And if the lead starts responding, it will respond pretty much instantaneously and move them towards the process of booking an appointment. So I'll show you exactly how that worked in this particular scenario, because this lead did book an appointment, and they did actually they did not actually book an appointment right after they filled out the survey. So they filled out the survey, and the AI was able to qualify them and actually push them to an appointment. And this resulted in an actual deal and money in the bank for my client. So this is the power of AI. I'm super excited to show you how this actually works. Now, let me share with you the math behind this system. And keep in mind, this is based on real live data from clients that have spent thousands of dollars running ads through this system, and all of the people that I've worked with over the past 8 years. So this isn't a made up number, and it's also very realistic, right? Some of our clients, it only takes them 30 leads to close a deal. Some of our clients, it takes them 50. And so what I have found is to when sharing these types of projections, keep it very realistic, because if you have a realistic expectation of how this works, I find that those clients end up being able to stick with the process long enough for them to actually see money in their bank and profit from the system, right? So what that means is that it's going to take you for every 50 leads that you generate, and a lead in this specific instance would be defined as somebody who has seen our Facebook ad, clicked on that ad, and then submitted their information via the survey page, right? So for every one person that does that, that is a lead. So for every 50 leads, there should be about 20 automated appointments, which is 40%. So for every 10 people that fill this survey page out, there should be about 4 of them who actually book their own appointment. And I have thousands of appointments that have been booked through this exact system. So I'm not, just making this up, okay? And keep in mind that, in different markets like California, Florida, Texas, different areas, these numbers may change slightly, right? But in general, these should be the overall metrics, right? 50 leads, 20 of them should book their own appointment, and out of those 50 total leads, you should have one deal that you actually close on and get money in the bank from. Now, This will also vary depending on your exit strategy as well as your market, et cetera, et cetera. But in general, for a real estate wholesaler or flipper, it's going to take you about 50 leads from inbound Facebook ads traffic to find one deal. Okay, so that's the math here. And now I want to share with you, my process to ensure that we are within KPI. So this basically just means, how do I know that a client is on the right track when their campaign goes live? Most people just may be flying blind, and so they don't really know if it's going to work. And I found that after doing this for 8 years, that is probably one of the biggest downfalls as to why people fail with paid advertising, is they are, one, trying to prove the concept, right? They're trying to prove the offer. They're trying to actually run the ads. They're trying to actually talk to the leads on the phone. And so there's a lot of variables that are at play. And so it's very tough to really see it through if you're testing, 5, 10, 20 different things at a time. And so I like to keep things as simple as possible, because that gives me the confidence and it gives my clients the confidence to actually see it through. And this is why I can pretty much within, 40 seconds of communicating with a potential client, tell them what their cost per deal will be and what to actually expect. And I don't sell them the dream or sell them something that's not realistic. I just break it down with the numbers. So this is what I'm going to share with you, just so you can understand how I'm actually going about getting these clients predictable results. So the first step to this is starting with what I would call a baseline ad image, ad copy, ad headline, and then either lead form or survey, right? And so what this basically means is, when I sign up a new client or a client signs up to run their own ads through our software, we don't want to reinvent the wheel, right? We don't want to come up with some brand new ad or test some random thing that we've never tested before. We want to start with a baseline, right? And then that baseline will allow us to establish some consistency in the actual account. And then from there, if it's performing as it should in that specific market, then we have a really predictable way to know what the cost per deal is. So the first step is to start with a baseline, structure here of ad copy, ad image, ad copy, the headline, basically everything, right? So if 2 clients decided to sign up today, right, I wouldn't say, oh my gosh, okay, I'm going to come up with a custom strategy for each of these clients and try and figure out some brand new thing, right? I would run the same exact campaign in their respective markets, and then allow that to inform me how the baseline ad performs, right? And then, only then, will I start to potentially add in, an additional image or an additional video or additional ad copy. But for the most part, the baseline is, what keeps everything super, systematic, so that we're not guessing, okay? So that's step one. Then the second step is, once the baseline has been established, ideally over 14 days, meaning, we start with the actual baseline, system, and we leave that for about 14 days, then we know that the cost per lead is going to be predictable, right? So on day 1, you may not get any leads. On day 2, maybe you get 2 leads, right? And so I found that over 14 days, that's really, if an ad account or a campaign is performing consistently over 14 days, that's a pretty solid indicator of what the cost per lead will be throughout the rest of, the campaigns, right? So it doesn't mean you need to leave your ads running for 14 days before you make any sort of change. But at this point, because I'm so confident in my baseline system, I found that it always performs because of how I, communicate with the client and understand where they're targeting and all those other things first. So by the time somebody actually signs up, it's already been figured out, right? We're not figuring it out when we're launching the campaign. So I just find that a 14-day time frame is the best way to kind of measure, or I shouldn't say the best because things change, but I find that with 14 days, I have, pretty high certainty that that cost per lead will remain the same throughout, the campaign period. So once that's been established, let's say that after 14 days of the campaign, the cost per lead is 60, right? Then I know with our 50 lead rule, in a conservative way, that they are going to pay, $3,000 per lead, right? Because $60 cost per lead, and then we can multiply that by the 50 leads that are required, right? And so that's going to be $3,000 cost per deal. So that's the, those are the first 2 steps, is start with a baseline system, let that baseline get established, ideally have at least 14 days of data of it running. And there's other individual things here that need to be in place, right? Like if something for whatever reason is not working in those first few days, like no one's clicking, maybe we're getting spam submissions. I'm just giving you examples. These aren't really likely to happen, but just, I'm not blindly leaving the ads for 14 days and just, thinking that that's all there is to it, right? If we're getting a lead in the first few days, then, I'm able to leave that. But if there's something that's, not in KPI, like for example, maybe the cost per click is super high, or maybe it's taking too many clicks before somebody submits it, then I would actually just relaunch the baseline. And I have seen campaigns perform totally differently simply by launching the same exact thing, just on a different day. Okay. And not like Monday or Tuesday, like not that there's any specific day to do it, but I've launched a campaign on, let's just say, a Friday, and for whatever reason, within 24 to 48 hours, there's no leads, turn that specific ad set off, and then from there, launch it on a Sunday, Monday, just whenever it's, come to its completion, where I'm like, okay, it's, this doesn't seem to be on track. And then before you know it, it starts performing. So I think the point here is just that if you have a proven ad, template, image, all that good stuff, then don't go and change the whole entire thing just because initially the ad doesn't start generating leads. Okay, so as long as all these other things are within KPI, for example, should take about 10 clicks or so to get a submission, and essentially that ends up being the cost per lead, right? So for example, if it takes 10 clicks to get a submission and the cost per lead is 60, well, that means that it's $6 per click, right? So it all should work together. But start with the baseline ad image, and then once that baseline is established and you have a good amount of data, ideally you just leave the campaign. Don't start messing with it because it just takes time, okay? And then as long as all these other things are within KPI, people are clicking and submitting at around 10%, and people are responding at least a 20% rate, and people are also booking through the funnel, then I know that everything's good to go, okay? So that's my process. Now, here's an example of the type of ad, like a baseline ad that I would run. I start with a baseline at the time of this recording. Things change, but at the time of this recording, I start with an image ad for the baseline because one, there's just less variables, right? With video, there's obviously the video has to load. The video, what the words that are said in the video just create increasing complexity, right? It doesn't mean they don't work because we do use video ads, but in this image, right, there's really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words, and then these other, what is that? 7. So 16 words, right, that are on this particular image. And so it's just super simple, right? There's just way less potential room for misinterpretation. There's no real need for a load speed to be really fast because it's just an image. So it's not like videos don't work or images are better than video. It's really not that. It's just I like to start with the most simple baseline setup that loads fast, that's easy to understand, because that's how I want that's just personally what I prefer to do, right? If I start doing a baseline with videos and things like that, there could be inputs from the video, right, that are a little bit harder to track as to why people are converting versus an image. So this is just my own methodology. You'll have to develop your own, but basically this is an example of, an ad image that we would start with, okay? Now, here is the actual conversation from this blue here will be the AI bot, and then the gray over here is going to be the actual lead responding. So remember, the lead saw our ad on Facebook. They clicked on the ad, and that took them to the survey page, and then potentially they book an appointment and go to a thank you page. Now, this particular lead just filled out the survey and then is now in this red stage here that I'm showing you the image of. She's in the AI follow-up. So this is the actual message that was sent, and you can see here this is at 5:16 a.m. My time. This is a Eastern time zone client, so this was 5:16 my time, and then she's responding at 5:17 a.m. and then here's the power of the AI bot, right? It's immediately engaging the lead, right? And so now it's starting to respond, and then I'll share with you how the qualification process works here, but we'll just start with the conversation. So can you tell me a bit about the condition of your property? And then here you can see, her describing her problem with the property, the water leak, the air conditioner, and then now you can just see how powerful this bot is, working. It's responding instantaneously. My client potentially wasn't even, available to talk to this lead, and here we are engaging with the lead within literally like 25 seconds probably. So we're getting the why they're considering selling, how soon are they looking to sell, and all this stuff can be customized. This is just the one I custom built for this client. And then we get an asking price here, and then we make sure it's not listed, and then basically we send her a link to book an appointment, and you can see here she has now booked an appointment. Okay, and if you look, this is at 5:25, and all within about 9 minutes did all these messages take place, and now she is booked on the calendar, right? And she actually booked on the calendar for that same day, basically 7 hours later, right? And now I want to share with you what the AI note taker did in this particular instance. So that is all facilitated by AI. This entire conversation, you can see there's a question mark. This is just our system, New Breed CRM, New Breed Investor CRM. You can see there's no one assigned. This is the bot, right? So this is all automated. And now you can also see the other component of the AI, which is it takes notes, okay? So you can see here it summarized the entire conversation in the notes section. And so what it does is it reads the entire conversation and it creates a summary in the notes. So my client can wake up, check out the lead, see an appointment booked, and then just see, a full-on note of like the lead and everything. And I mean, this is stuff that, an assistant would do. So this is what AI is doing in our specific offer for clients, okay? So now let's get into the data. So you can see here, this is 39 leads that were generated at a cost per lead of $59 per lead. And these are all leads that are being driven to a survey page. So $2,300 spent. Out of these 39 leads, 16 of them booked their own appointments, and 3 of them that were booked through the AI booking bot. So we do get a pretty nice lead to booking rate just via the funnel, but the AI will, even if people don't book the actual appointment with the AI, it will start a lot of conversations. You could see here we have the 39 leads, and we also have 18 contacts that are not the 16 booked appointments, because once they book, there's no, the AI doesn't try to, do anything. It just lets them show up to the appointment. So basically out of the 39 leads that were generated, 16 booked their own appointments. So that means 23 leads basically didn't get any sort of AI automation. And so out of the 23, 18 of them actually responded and had conversations with the AI. And so even if the lead doesn't book through the link or book directly through the funnel, it is starting conversations with these leads, and it's qualifying them and getting more information completely on autopilot. So this is basically the AI note taker, and these are real screenshots of just a few of the leads that had conversations with the bot that didn't book an appointment. And so you can see here my client can simply log into the system, see the property address, see when they need to sell, why they need to sell, what their asking price is, if it's listed. I mean, this is all done autonomously. So this has really changed the game, because, telling clients to take notes and be diligent and follow up and all that stuff is really nice in theory, but the reality is it just doesn't probably happen as much as it should. And with the AI, this thing works 24/7, 365, and this stuff really does not cost a lot to have this in place. And so this can be applied to to leads that are not even generated from our specific system as well. If somebody's getting leads from Google or other lead sources, all of this can still be done, where the AI will take notes on the leads if there's conversation taking place via text message. So this is an example. These aren't, it's an example, but this is what these are actual real screenshots. So yeah, this is the power of this. And some of these messages, some of this summary has been taken place over 10, 15 messages, right? And so it just summarizes the entire conversation to the point of the last message, and takes all the data and just organizes it really cleanly. And this is, like I said, this is all done via automation. So that is the AI note taker function. And then I also custom built, it's basically a system that works together. But basically, on the back end, the way this whole thing works, without getting into how to build this entire thing, is I have this automation here that will categorize the transaction type. So for this particular, wholesaler, he is obviously looking for properties he can wholesale or flip, right? That's the target. So doesn't mean he can't, work with other types of leads, but the point of running these types of ads is to find people who need to, sell their house at a discount. And so basically what happens here is this is a combination of two elements of AI. We have the AI that's responding to the lead, which I showed you. And in that same workflow, it is also taking notes here, so that's 3. So it's step 2 is the bot, right? Step 3 is the summary, which I just showed you. And then step 4 is it's actually organizing the lead based on the type of quality that it is. And I set those parameters here. And so I basically just tell the system, hey, analyze what type of transaction this will be based on what the homeowner wants. And then I pull in all the data of the whole conversation. And so you can see here, this is how it works, and it works on every message that is sent via text. So if the conversation of the changes, right? Maybe, for example, you can see this lead. She said it's dated, needs paint, and then the bot fires. But what I'm showing you here is the lead quality. It on this first interaction here, it moved this lead to a great lead just based off that one response, because if it's dated, that could potentially be a wholesaler flip, right? And then if she responded and said, I want to sell it for top dollar, or I don't need to sell for 2 years, it would then move that lead to, the bad lead stage or traditional listing. So that's the other way the AI is working here. We have like I said, the bot, which actually facilitated this entire conversation and got the lead to book the appointment. And then additionally, it summarizes the entire conversation, so that it makes it easy for my client to actually go and see what's going on with these leads and not waste time. And then additionally, it actually will move the lead to the correct stage based on this automation here. And I'm not sure if you can see here, this lead itself, which ended up closing and turning into a deal, was successfully categorized as a great lead. So, this thing is actually working because it's finding the leads that are considered great, and it's turning into deals. So that is the next little case study that I got. I actually have a few more, so stay tuned for that. If you're an investor and you like learning about this, marketing and systems and stuff, make sure to subscribe. And if you are interested in looking for more off-market deals, I actually have a software where you can launch your own proven ads, with the ads I've developed over the years. So you could just launch those directly through the software. And it also includes the AI booking bot. So it will, basically communicate and qualify your lead. So it comes with the proven ads, and it also comes with the AI booking bot. You can click on the link to, learn more about everything that's included. And if you happen to be a marketing agency, you want to learn, how I'm getting clients and how I'm getting clients results with these types of systems, primarily at this point doing it via SaaS, you can, check out the link below. It's to my school group. So hopefully this found you well, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.